Welcome to Take Steps Plus Virtual. Let's give a warm welcome to our host, Danielle Snelson.
Hey everyone! It's so good to be back. We held our first ever Take Steps Plus Virtual walk in June, and it was so inspiring. We wanted to do it again. So there are over 30 walks from across the country participating in Take Steps Virtual today. We'd like to recognize the top 3 teams from each of those walks. Now, during the challenges that 2020 has brought us all, I have been in awe of our IBD community's incredible patience, caregivers, and supporters, as I am sure you are too. Now, speaking of an incredible patient, I am pleased to introduce my illustrious co-host and longtime IBD warrior, Rondell Damalisi. Hey, Rondell! How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Danielle?
So good.
Good. Well, I am so excited to be co-hosting Take Steps Plus Virtual with you, Danielle. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 12 years old, and I've been walking and fundraising for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation for 26 years and have been proudly working at the foundation for just under 10 years.
Wow, Rondell, your passion is truly inspiring, and it's remarkable that you've personally raised over $422,000 for the foundation to date. That's amazing. Now, we know, however, it truly takes a collective effort to discover cures. You're going to be hearing from all of our incredible honored heroes throughout today. These individuals are certainly relentless in their efforts to raise funds and awareness for Take Steps and IBD.
Take Steps is the largest nationwide fundraising event supporting the mission of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation to cure Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis and improve the quality of life for patients and their loved ones. Now, we want to get to know you, all of you out there who support our important mission. So tell us your team name and where you're walking from today by typing it into the chat box.
Rondell, we're coming coast to coast today. I am in Boise, Idaho.
That's awesome. And I'm coming out to you from St. Louis, Missouri today.
Woo!
Yeah. And I see that we've got Connie in Illinois, and she's walking in the rain. Good for you, Connie. Way to be dedicated. And I also see that Emily Elizabeth is coming to us from Connecticut. We've got, Tara is shouting out her group, Team Matthew, and their photo has a yellow lab. So they're walking with the whole family, including the dog. That's awesome. I love it. I also see that we've got Mary coming in from Maine, all the way up north. And we've got Connie here and Whitney. Oh my gosh, they're coming in like crazy. We've got Amy Ferguson and Melissa Charles having their pre-walk breakfast before they go out and do their walking. This is fantastic. Well, we started 2020 with 89 walks and an $11 million collective goal. 54 of those walks transitioned to Take Steps Plus Virtual in June. We held 7 drive-through walks where it was safe to do so, and all of our remaining walks are here with us now. We've raised $6.4 million to date, so as you can see, we still have some work to do, but we know that with your support, we can get closer to our goal before the end of the year. Do you need a little extra motivation to keep you going? Here you go.
I am proud to be helping to raise funds to try to find a cure for my Crohn's disease. If I can do it, I know you can too. Cannonball!
And I am fundraising for Take Steps. And I may be little, but I'm making a big difference. Bye.
Thank you so much, Max and Umani. Now, it's not just teams who contribute crucial funds to our mission. Take Steps has amazing sponsors, both nationally and locally, whose generosity each year has a substantial impact.
Absolutely. So we would like to shout out some of those sponsors. We want to give a special thanks to our National Gold sponsor, AbbVie, for their generous support, our National Silver sponsor, Takeda, our National Bronze sponsor, Janssen, our National Bronze sponsor, Pfizer, our National Bronze sponsor, Quilted Northern, and National sponsor, Poopery. We are also very grateful to our 105 local sponsors for our fall walks, especially our local presenting sponsors. So corporate support accounts for 20% of all Take Steps funds, and it is crucial to our mission and raising awareness. So let's show our corporate supporters some love. In the comments, you can type in and shout out your corporate team while we celebrate their unwavering commitment. And meanwhile, let's hear from the executive champion of one of our longtime national corporate teams.
Hi, I'm Todd Katz, Executive Vice President with MetLife. I'm proud that my company has a strong partnership with Take Steps. We bring together hundreds of employees in 5 markets across the country to support the foundation. Our employees' dedication and commitment amazes me each and every year. Corporate support takes many different forms: sponsors, walk teams, committee members, in-kind donations, volunteers, and has had many benefits for companies like ours, increasing employee morale, representing our company in the community, leadership opportunities, and so much more. It also creates a way to support our internal patient community. Take Steps has hundreds of partners across the country. I'm glad my company is one of them. And I'd like to personally thank every Take Steps corporate partner for their returning and new commitments during these challenging but critical times. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Todd. The dedication of the corporate community, including our corporate campaign chairs, is so inspiring. Let's show our appreciation for our 22 corporate campaign chairs. Thank you so much. Their leadership has ensured that momentum remains high by encouraging companies to stay involved, get involved, or increase their commitment, all while recruiting more volunteers to help lead the way.
While some of you joining us today personally understand all too well the impact of IBD, others might not fully understand how Crohn's and colitis affects every aspect of a patient's life.
To all of the participants and sponsors and supporters across the country, thank you for your constant support in the Foundation's mission, especially now in a period where we have all had to be isolated and stress and anxiety can trigger symptoms. The need to come together is greater than ever.
My biggest challenge through my IBD journey would be learning to handle the things that trigger flare-ups, like stress. So I've had to learn how to handle my stress and stuff like that.
My biggest challenge is also stress. Even when I think I'm feeling cool, calm, and collected, my body internalizes all that stress and just throws me right into a flare.
I am an actual caregiver to my daughter, Hava. I really tried to do everything that I possibly could to make it all work out for her so that she didn't have to drop out of school or lose her credits. Unfortunately, she did end up needing to lose a half a year at college because ultimately we had to bring her home. But it was a good decision because now she's doing great.
I did not let this disease stop me in spite of many hospital stays and surgeries.
And I've had 7 ileostomies, and the last 2 I've had wound vacs for as long as 6 months.
I had a bowel perforation that required emergency surgery and a temporary ileostomy bag. I had to go through a lot of physical therapy and a lot of different medication trials, and I actually ended up getting that ileostomy bag reversed. So it's not only my biggest challenge, but also my biggest accomplishment as well.
one thing I would want people to know about living with Crohn's and ulcerative colitis is that there are tons of people with these diseases, and even just because we don't look like we're sick doesn't mean we're healthy or normal, and that their support is really meaningful because we want to be normal just like them.
As a patient myself, I also understand the impact of IBD. At 12 years old, I had to process that I would have a disease I had never heard of for the rest of my life. I remember the embarrassment of having to use my permanent bathroom pass in junior high school and still not always making it in time. I shopped at children's clothing stores into high school because I was under 5 feet tall, weighed about 75 pounds, and had not yet gone through puberty. I was told I may not graduate because I had too many tardies on my record from the pain and nausea I experienced in the mornings. And I missed a night performing in my high school musical because I was sick. I took mountains of pills, had too many hospitalizations to count, and had 7 surgeries before I turned 35. Anxiety and chronic fatigue have plagued me throughout. But because of your support through events like Take Steps and the incredible progress that we are making, I now believe I may not have to live with IBD for the rest of my life.
Rondell, this is exactly why we take steps. To support our IBD community, connect, do something, and raise crucial funds to improve the quality of life and to find cures. Now, seeing your team spirit is a huge part of what makes Walk Day so inspiring and so fun, so we really wanted to see yours. We encourage you to take a selfie in your team gear or Take Steps swag and post with hashtag #WhyITakeSteps. Now, hey, Rondell, let's go check in and see what everybody's up to today.
All right, so we have Amber from Team Pooper Troopers in Utah. I love the team names. We have, we actually have a shout out to some corporate chairs. So I just want to squeeze that into Michael Mann and Tanae Shaw from Chicago. We've got a shout out to MetLife. We've got, I am scrolling through. Oh, I see that we've got Jonathan coming into us from California. And we've got a shout out to Haley, who is the Western Mass Honored Hero. We've got a thank you to Aaron Markin, who is the Liberty State Park Honored Hero. So great. We've got a shout out for Team Spazio. And a shout out for Honored Hero Chase. That looks like that's coming in from the Central and Western New York chapters. And let's see, we've got a shout out to all of the Utica chapter corporate sponsors. That's really awesome. It looks like we're getting shout outs from all over, Danielle.
Now, just a reminder that the Pacesetter t-shirt, which we love to see many of you wearing, is just one of the incentives you can earn when you fundraise. And there's still time to snag yours. Anyone who raises at least $100 by October 30th will have a Pacesetter t-shirt mailed to them. It's great to see so many of you out there with incredible teams, and what great team spirit. Now, patients not only rely on their team, but also the love and support of their caregivers, who play a crucial role in their lives. Being a patient is challenging, and so is watching someone you love who suffers with Crohn's or colitis as you support them every step of the way. Now, to all of our caregivers, we want to say thank you.
My caregivers are both my mom and dad.
My caregiver is my stepmom, Emily.
My caregivers are my mom and dad. They're always there for me.
My caregiver, my spouse, Jamar, he definitely means the world to me.
My caregiver is my mom. She means everything to me.
My caregiver is my dad, Stuart. He's definitely my rock. He's my crony guy.
My caregiver is primarily my husband, Taylor, the true champion and a rock. Not only for myself, but for our 2-year-old son. I am so grateful for his positivity and love and care.
My caregivers are my parents. I love them so much. My caregivers are my mom and dad. If I didn't have them, I would be a mess going through this crappy disease.
my mom, Margot. She means more to me than I could ever put into words. She's the person in the pre-op area that holds my hand when the IV goes in. She is the one that helped me shower after my first surgery with my ostomy bag. She is everything to me.
My father, Bruce, earns the Top Caregiver Award with his wife and both children suffering from Crohn's disease. He may not know it, but he always helps us through many of our toughest days just by simply listening to what we have to say. All I want to say is thanks, Dad.
My caregivers mean the world to me. They are my friends and family, and they are there for me every step of the way, day or night.
My caregiver is my mother. She's been there through everything, every single infusion, every single doctor's appointment, every hospitalization.
My primary caregivers are my mom and my dad, Calvin and Karen Smith. I like to refer to them as my biggest cheerleaders. They mean the world to me.
My parents are my caregivers, and they're always there for me, and I really appreciate them.
My husband, George Scandalis, and my mom have been with me through the many decades of this journey. My husband especially has been by my side with support, understanding, love, patience, hope, and he's been my rock. He's my heart. Now I'm crying.
My caregiver is my mom, and she means love and kindness. She gives me my medicine, she makes me my favorite food, she cuddles with me, and she holds my hands through everything.
Wow, that video got me choked up. This entire caregiver community is filled with those who have sacrificed for patients, and without you, patients wouldn't have the valuable support that they need. Now, everyone, let's show our appreciation for all of the caregivers out there. We'd love for you to comment with a message to your caregiver in your life.
Oh my gosh, we have so many coming in. There's a lot of love for our caregivers, and I'm just going to take advantage of this time and say thank you to my mom and dad and to my husband, Glenn, who I could not survive this disease without. We've got Connie, who is shouting out Evan. We've got Kasha, who is shouting out her mother and her children's father as her caregivers. We've got Catherine, who is shouting out her husband, Jonathan. Savannah is thanking her mom and her husband who take such great care of her. We've got Sarah, who is letting us know that she is both a patient and a caregiver. Wow, how about a big, big shout out for Sarah doing both roles there. And we've got Claire is shouting out her mom. I love it. There are just so many here. We've got so many moms and dads and friends and best friends. So thank you so much to all of our caregivers for always being there to support us. Well, we see you all, and we thank you for selflessly providing the love and support that patients need. With 3.1 million IBD patients in the US, there are 3.1 million reasons to honor our patients that are here with us today.
I was diagnosed when I was 21 years old with Crohn's disease.
I was 5 years old when I was diagnosed with Crohn's.
I was 17 when I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis.
I was 51 years old when I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease.
I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 10 years old.
I was diagnosed when I was 7.
I was diagnosed when I was 5.
We are a 3 generations Crohn's family.
I was 40 years old when I was diagnosed with intermittent colitis, and just a few weeks after my niece Charlotte was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. I am glad that my niece hasn't had to walk this journey alone, and we are in this together, and we'll find a cure together.
I'm so passionate about finding a cure so other people don't have to go through what I have to go through.
I didn't know that sometimes you can have like flares and then it goes like quiet. Haley says that she's learned that Crohn's is hard and having her medicine is important to make her feel better. Owen has learned a lot about his body and how his diagnosis works.
The biggest challenge I've faced during the 4 decades plus journey with IBD is learning over and over again how to adapt and evolve with a chronic illness that is often very isolating and invisible to so many.
Through this journey, I have been able to discover how strong and resilient I really am, just going through so many different obstacles, being in the hospital and not being able to live a normal life like everyone else. So it definitely has made me a stronger person.
I'm stronger than I think I am.
My mother, brother, and I all have been diagnosed with Crohn's disease. I'm walking to help raise awareness and educate others on the stigmas around the disease.
I take steps so that no one ever has to feel ashamed or embarrassed about living with IBD.
Being diagnosed at such a young age, it definitely was not the greatest to have to go through all that testing and all those medication trials. And I just would like a world where young kids don't have to deal with anything like that, and we can just focus on living normal lives.
We're all fighting to take these steps to find that cure.
It's very cool seeing some other people going through the same disease and, similar hardships that we all go through. And this isn't something small. I hope that you feel honored. I feel like this is a true honor, and to keep sharing our stories and spreading information about this disease and awareness so that we can help find a cure.
We still take steps.
To all the patients here today, including my co-host Rondell, you are the reason we fundraise and walk. Your strength is an inspiration to all of us, and we are so proud to support you.
Now we'd like to honor each of your IBD journeys, whether you're a new patient or you've been on your journey for decades.
First, we want to acknowledge everyone who has been living with Crohn's or colitis for more than 20 years. If you were diagnosed more than 20 years ago, please share how many years ago you were diagnosed in the comments.
Let's see. Well, I'm going to put myself in there. I'm 35 years strong. We've got a shout out to Carly. We've got someone who says they were diagnosed in 1991. They're now 59 years old in Chicago. We have Kasha, who was diagnosed at 17 years old in high school and is now 27 years old, just showing remission. Way to go, Kasha. That's what we like to hear. I see a shout out to Gavin and a shout out to Ashley, I see as well. Thank you all so much for sharing your journeys with us. You've been in it for the long haul for sure. So now, if you were diagnosed more than 10 years ago, please share how many years ago you were diagnosed in the comments, and we'll take another look and we'll see who has been battling these diseases for more than 10 years. All right, I'm seeing a shout out for Claire. And I'm seeing a shout out here for Benjamin. Oh gosh, I have to fit this one in. We have someone who I probably saw late, but diagnosed with Crohn's disease 36 years ago. That's a long time. I've got Jen Stacy was diagnosed 22 years ago at the age of 19. And Haley diagnosed 16 years ago. We've got Tina, who was diagnosed 15 years ago. And I see Mona here, who was diagnosed 23 years ago. You guys are all such incredible, incredible troopers and warriors. So now, if you were diagnosed more than 1 year ago, please share how many years ago you were diagnosed in the comments. And forgive me, just give me 1 minute while my comments catch up here on Facebook. We've got Justin at 12 years ago. Thank you so much for commenting in. I see that we have Chris, who was diagnosed 13 years ago. David, 33 years ago. I'm a little behind with the times here, but they're coming in fast and furious. Christy of Lincoln was diagnosed 20 years ago with Crohn's disease. Thank you so much for sharing about your personal journey. I see Mary, who was diagnosed 11 years ago, and Christine Ricci was diagnosed 12 years ago. My goodness, there's so many of us out there, and these events are really what help us make strides and help us to get to a place of better treatments and cures. So now for our newly diagnosed, if you have been diagnosed just within the last year, please share with us how many months since your diagnosis in our comments section here. It's always tough when you're new to this community and you're new to this journey. So we want to wrap all of you newly diagnosed with some love and support. We've got Jason. I see that we've got Stephanie. Oh, Jason was 1 year exactly to the day. I'm glad that you're here with us today on that special mark in your life. We've got Tracy, who was diagnosed 5 months ago. All the best to you, Tracy. All right, so we just want to acknowledge all of those out there. Thank you all for sharing. You are the reason why we're all walking. So come on, everyone, let's show our patients a whole lot of love. Let's show some love and support for all the amazing patients in your life in the comments, and make sure to tag them if they're on Facebook. And we've been seeing just so much love in our comments. We've had a shout out for Ashley and a shout out for Meadow. And we have, let's see, we've got Emily Elizabeth is coming to us from Connecticut. We've got, oh boy, we've got Gavin, diagnosed 4 months ago. Maddie, diagnosed 2 years ago. We've got Caitlin, who was diagnosed in 2018. So thank you all so much for being here with us today and for bravely sharing your journeys.
Now, our healthcare professionals, GI docs, nurses, nutritionists, administrators, social workers, surgeons, they all play many meaningful roles in our IBD community. Not only are they invaluable to our patients and caregivers, but they also sponsor Take Steps, have fundraising teams, and serve as healthcare honored heroes.
All right, so let's hear from you out there. Either shout out your healthcare professionals, or if you're listening in and you are a healthcare professional, please let us know you're out there and let us know who you are so we can show you some love. So I would be remiss if I didn't shout out my own incredible doctor, Dr. Ellen Sherrill from out here in New York City at Weill Cornell. Let's see who else we have in here. Let's see. I've got a Dr. Marion coming in. I see a Dr. Rubin. I see Dr. Abreu. Who else do we have? GI specialists. We've got a whole program there, an entire group of doctors that we're thankful for. That's awesome. Fantastic. We've got Brooks Army Medical Center. Thank you all so much for taking such great care of our patients. Terrific. Well, we can't thank all of our doctors and medical professionals enough. You are who keeps us safe and able to keep going with our lives day in and day out. So thank you for being here with us.
Now, Take Steps has raised more than $100 million since our inception in 2008. Those funds have been put to good use funding research, education, advocacy, and patient services. None of this would have been possible without you.
In 2019, the foundation invested in more than 200 research projects, and since our inception, we have made a total investment of $384 million in research.
I'm so grateful to be on the first virtual Take Steps walk with you today because the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is committed to identifying cures for Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis and to improving the lives of patients and families suffering with these diseases until we do. As a volunteer for more than 30 years, I currently have the privilege of serving as the chair of the National Scientific Advisory Committee. As an investigator, working to understand the causes and treatments and preventions for these diseases, the more than $560 million raised by the foundation over the past 53 years have been important for our research and for the mentoring of the next generation of researchers and clinicians. As a doctor, the Foundation's been a vital partner in supporting the education of my patients and their families and a tireless advocate on their behalves. Whatever your reasons for walking today, you can be confident that the dollars you raise will continue to support the search for cures while improving the lives of those with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis.
Thank you, Crohn's and Colitis fundraisers, for all the hard work you've done to bring in all these resources for us to do the class project, the wearable tracker for patient responses to tracking IBD flares here at UT Dallas. Thank you very much.
My laboratory has studied an enzyme in the brain for several decades, but a few years ago, it was discovered that this same enzyme is highly upregulated in the GI system of patients that have Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Through the financial and intellectual support of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, my lab has now developed a gut-restricted inhibitor of this enzyme that completely attenuates this overactive enzyme. In multiple animal models of inflammatory bowel disease, we and others have now shown that this enzyme can robustly alleviate the symptoms of IBD and even block its occurrence in genetic models. The foundation is now supporting our development of this drug so that we can take it into clinical trials for really the ultimate test to see if it aids patients with this disabling disorder. All of this wouldn't be possible without you, the fundraisers and the donors who fuel the foundation's efforts. So a large thank you to you for making our research and our drug discovery efforts possible. Your support is making a big splash!
Hi, I'm Michael Osso, President and CEO of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. I want to begin by saying, as a country, we find ourselves in the midst of several crises that are having an impact on each and every one of us. We are faced with a global pandemic, an economic recession due to COVID-19, raging wildfires on the West Coast, and a troubled time in U.S. race relations. But despite all these challenges, you have decided to join us here today to demonstrate your incredible support for the millions of IBD patients during their time of need. And for that, we are so grateful. Our thoughts are with everyone that has been impacted and continues to be affected by their own set of personal challenges during these difficult times. We truly appreciate you finding the time and resources to support our mission and are thankful for this community that has come together today in recognition of the increasing needs and challenges of our patients. You play a crucial role in ensuring that we can continue to make progress towards finding cures for Crohn's and colitis. It's so inspiring seeing all of you participating today, and I want to take a moment to acknowledge and celebrate the researchers and their projects that we just saw. Those are just a few of the examples of the hundreds of research projects you are helping to fund. Advancing innovative ideas and the path to new treatments would not be possible without your support. Now I want you to hear exactly how you are impacting our patients' lives for the better.
I take steps because it really is one of the more beautiful and enlightening events. It's so nice just to see the IBD community come together.
I would like all those who support me to know how much they appreciate and how their thoughtfulness and generosity gives us all hope.
I'm very inspired by the work that Crohn's and Colitis Foundation does in this country. They're the foremost research group, and I am just praying for a cure for everyone in our lifetimes.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is important to me as it gives me a way to help the people who have Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
I'm passionate about helping people find a cure so that they can live their best life possible and thrive.
I want people who live with Crohn's or colitis to know that it shouldn't affect how you feel mentally and what you can do physically. Don't let it stop you do anything.
Even if you can't see it every day that you have Crohn's or colitis, you're in pain, but that it doesn't make you weaker, that it makes you stronger.
There's going to be tough times, not to worry. There's always light at the end of the tunnel and things will get better.
People with IBD are constantly putting on a brave face. Having this disease doesn't define the person. You can still accomplish amazing things.
It feels relieving to know that there's always someone in your corner rooting for you. And that's what the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is to me. From funding summer camps to research to medicines, the foundation always finds a way to better the community. And in the future, with these continued efforts, I can most definitely see a cure in sight.
One of our biggest accomplishments, I think, as IBD patients is showing up to fight every single day, because no matter what our situation is, it's easy to quit. But the fact that we all continue to show up and control the things that we can control is a huge accomplishment for all of us. Wake up and fight every single day.
I'm so inspired by our patients every single day and all of their stories. And I hope that you just saw the way in which you are impacting their lives. We especially need to thank our top 25 fall teams who have gone above and beyond through fundraising efforts and outreach. So a very special thanks to our national team, MetLife, who has participated in 4 virtual walks this fall and will raise more than $90,000 this year. Please note, your fundraising total might not fully reflect the recent fundraising, as totals were pulled as of October 13th. But we also have 13 fall teams included in our nationwide $10,000 club, and we want to give a special thanks to them all. Any team that raises $10,000 or more by October 30th will receive an invitation for 2 members to join an exclusive virtual research reception with me and foundation-funded researchers. So for those of you who haven't yet met your team goal or started fundraising, it doesn't take very much to start a Facebook fundraiser. The average raise is $868. Or to email your personal fundraising page link, and please do it again, even if you've already taken that step. You have until November 13th to continue fundraising for 2020. That's 3 full weeks. Our staff, as always, are happy to assist you. And please remember, the foundation hasn't been immune to the impact of COVID-19 on our fundraising efforts. But we know that a cure is still the most important thing for our patients. And that's why our original 2020 Take Steps goal, $11 million, has not changed. Because now more than ever, we must maintain the tremendous momentum we have in our research efforts over the past few years, and be there to provide support for IBD patients and caregivers facing COVID-19. The future of our patient programs remains at risk due to the indefinite impact of COVID-19 and the cancellation of all in-person fundraising events this year. Your funds are making a difference today in patients' lives, and I thank you for that. All right, I would like to count us down so we can all go walk. So don't forget to tag photos of yourself walking using hashtag #WhyITakeSteps for a chance to be reposted. So now everyone across the country, let's all count down together. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks for joining us today. Let's all get out and start walking.